gentlemen, welcome back to the year 2013. This is the Liebherr World Table Tennis Championships in Paris, France. It is the ultimate day of the competition here on this Monday in Paris, France. And it is the ultimate and last match of the competition coming up, the men's finals match. Who will be world champion 2013? Will it be this man here, WANG Hao from China, or is it indeed the reigning world champion from 2011, his compatriot, ZHANG Jike? My name is Sebastian Halle and I'm once again joined by Don Parker. Don, welcome back here. Any predictions for this match?
Thank you, Sebastian. Pleasure to be sitting alongside you. It's a tough one to call. ZHANG Jike is a big-time player for me. Current world champion, Olympic champion. He plays very well on a week-to-week basis, but he just raises the bar when it comes to the Worlds and the Olympics. So I'm going for ZHANG Jike, but you can't write off WANG Hao, number 3 in the world. The last 6 big tournaments, 3 Olympics, 3 World Championships. He's been in the final of all 6. One of the all-time greats. So I feel a bit guilty going against a player of the stature of WANG Hao, but my tip, ZHANG Jike.
I do have to say I might agree with you on that one. WANG Hao and ZHANG Jike have met so many times along their careers. 10 games played between them on an international level. And the head-to-head score is indeed 7-3 for ZHANG Jike. And as you said, in all the big events, the World Championship Finals match 2011, the Olympics Finals 2012 in London, all of these matches were won by ZHANG Jike, who indeed plays his best when he's on the big stage, when it's going for all the marbles. He's right there and he plays 100%, maybe 110%. But WANG Hao, you're right, we cannot count him out for this one. He's been a professional for so long. He's shown some excellent performances in this tournament as well, especially on the tactical side. And if he's to beat the reigning world champion, why not here and now in the Palais Omnisport de Paris-Bercy at the finals match of the World Championships?
The umpire just asking the players to call. He's going to spin the coin. The players will have a 2-minute practice. Already the umpires will have checked the playing area to make sure that everything is fit for purpose. And now the pre-final practice commences. Just 2 minutes, just loosening up the shots, just nice and steady, playing up and down the 2 diagonals, up and down the 2 lines. Just get the feet gently moving. Let the nerves settle down. Having said that, 2 very experienced campaigners. But nevertheless, as you said, Sebastian, this is the ultimate. It's the final of the World Championships. ZHANG Jike has a unique way of celebrating his successes when he's on the major stage. Maybe we'll get the chance to see another unique celebration, but this gentleman on screen there, penhold grip player, right-handed, will be hoping to do something celebration himself. So our French umpire in charge of proceedings. I don't anticipate any problems for him to have to deal with 2 wonderful players, 2 great ambassadors of the sport.
WANG Hao is on the near side of the screen in the picture here, the man in the red shirt. He's 29 years old, world rank currently at 3. We said this a number of times. I have to reiterate this. He's 3 times runner-up in the Olympics, 2004, 2008 in Beijing, where he lost to his compatriot Marlin, and 2012, where he lost to the man on the right, to ZHANG Jike, who's 25 years old, world ranked at 4 at the moment. And at the age of 24, he has already won all the major tournaments. on an international level. He's the World Cup winner. He's the gold medalist of the Olympics, and he's the world champion 2011, winning all of that inside of 12 months. He's only one of 3 Chinese players to ever accomplish this. The other is sitting somewhere in the ranks, actually right behind us at the moment, Liu Guoyang, table tennis legend and head coach of the men's national team. The other one is the head coach of the women's national team, Kong Linghui.
And so the play is about to commence. Just one. It's about the last 2 times they met on the big stage. The last World Championships, the last Olympic Games. The man in black came out on top. Will it be 3rd time lucky for the man in red? We're just about to find out. Great block by WANG Hao. WANG Hao, of course, one of the penhold grip players who's perfected the reversed backhand topspin. Most pen grip players in years gone by only used one side of the racket, but all of a sudden this new breed of penhold grip players developed the reverse backhand topspin using both sides of the racket, and I'm sure we'll see WANG Hao employ this technique many times during this final.
Good start for the 29-year-old, as you've said it, penhold player, but he's included this so seamlessly into his game. From the looks of it, he doesn't almost look like a penhold player. There's no variation on the backhand. He always plays this reverse penhold backhand topspin. There's no hesitation on that. It's just part of his game. Also a very backhand-dominated player, WANG Hao. You can see this when the serve drifts to the middle of the table or his forehand side. Even WANG Hao will almost always open up with the backhand topspin. On the other side, though, this man, ZHANG Jike, he does pretty much the same.
So wonderful backhand down the line from ZHANG Jike. That's what he does so well. He came across a little bit to the middle to return with the backhand, and then plays the backhand out wide to WANG Hao's forehand.
In all these 10 matches played between them on the big stages, there has never been one close match among that. All have been 4-0 to 4-2 was the closest, I believe. Never a 4-3. But in the tryouts for the World Championships in China, WANG Hao played maybe his best match ever against ZHANG Jike. Many have already had counted him out at that point. Was not in tip-top shape, but he's demonstrated all the critics and all the fans as well that he was on top of his abilities when he needed to, although he lost that match.
ZHANG Jike starting well, leads 5-2. Of course, he was in amazing form yesterday. Zhu Jin 4-0. Zhu Jin, of course, the new #1, and he was wiped out by ZHANG Jike in 4 straight games.
ZHANG Jike, probably one of the toughest players of the Chinese team, especially mentally. If you put the more pressure you put on him, the better he seems to perform. Mikael Andersson said this yesterday. He's the champion, and the champion never stops fighting. If you want to know one secret to his success, you just have to look at his legs. ZHANG Jike, very lean, muscular player. Perhaps the best athlete among the Chinese at the moment.
Here, ZHANG Jike happy to stay backhand to backhand. And he runs out the winner. 4 or 5 shots were required, but at the moment, ZHANG Jike looking good. Seems to have the answers in all departments at the moment.
Let 7-3.
the backhand topspin in down the middle of the table. And ZHANG Jike will be delighted.
Perhaps feeling a bit nervous here. ZHANG Jike forcing the issue. Good serve once again. WANG Hao did, in my opinion, misjudged that a bit. Lifted what he thought was backspin. There was not that much backspin on the serve. Indeed, it bounced high. It was easy prey for the world champion.
Good play there from WANG Hao. ZHANG Jike coming across to return the short serve to his forehand with the backhand, but he was exposed out wide to his forehand. Super shot down the line.
I
think the backhand topspin from ZHANG Jike just caught the top of the net. Let's have a look on the replay. Yes, it did. Just deviates the ball slightly. There we saw it. Excellent slow motion. And WANG Hao just seems a little hesitant.
He's about to lose the first game 2 of this best-of-7 match. We have a 10-5 lead. Points for the reigning world champion. Well, you look at that backhand topspin from WANG Hao. He did indeed wait a bit until ZHANG Jike stepped around to play the forehand topspin. This next one coming up after this. Waited and then put it so delicately onto the parallel side. 10-6. ZHANG Jike will have to fight for each point now. Can already see WANG Hao. He's very quiet, very focused on this match. This is something you don't see all too often with him. Sure indication that he is in this 100%.
Let 7.
Short serve to the forehand. ZHANG Jike was on his way across to return it with the backhand.
Let 7.
And he takes it. The world champion wins the first game. 11-7 is leading now 1 game to 0.
And the first game goes to ZHANG Jike. 11-7. Championnat du monde 2011, en Coupe du monde 2011, aux Jeux Olympiques 2012, puisqu'il est le vainqueur du monde, le champion du monde en titre et le champion olympique en titre. Reprise de cette...
We're back in the action on the center court. Palais in Paris, France, the World Championships finals match in the men's singles department. WANG Hao is down 1 game against the reigning world champion ZHANG Jike from China. Will look no doubt to equalize this. WANG Hao has been so successful in his career. Became world champion in 2009. The finals match he won against Wang Liqin in Yokohama. Won the World Cup 3 times, numerous successes on the World Tour as well. But he's been quite a tragic figure for all his successes as well. As we said, he's been 3 times runner-up in the Olympics, and that is a huge accomplishment, yet he never managed to win. the Olympics. Same goes for the finals match of the World Championships. Does indeed want to beat ZHANG Jike on this big stage. He has another opportunity in 2013 now.
At the moment, it's not working out for WANG Hao. He's not quite quick on the counter topspin. Now, yesterday against Ma Long, you'd have backed him to make that topspin, but doesn't seem to be firing on all cylinders. Perhaps he has a little bit more respect for ZHANG Jike. Again, uncharacteristic error, misread the spin, heavy backspin on the serve, didn't lift, and the ball wasn't even close to getting over the top of the net.
Once again, too. ZHANG Jike off to a good start, but it is, as you say, Don, WANG Hao not on top of his abilities at the moment.
1-5.
Needs to step it up soon here.
Let 1-5. 1-6.
ZHANG Jike is doing a good job. He's placing all these top spins right into the body of WANG Hao. Has a good backhand, especially over the table, and whenever he's forced back from the table, these distance topspin to topspin encounters, it is ZHANG Jike who has the upper hand.
6-2.
But not once playing into WANG Hao's forehand side. He knows he needs to avoid the fastest forehand topspin in the world.
ZHANG Jike just overhitting the backhand topspin. I think we may see him go out wide to the WANG Hao forehand just to keep WANG Hao guessing. WANG Hao, of course, if everything comes into the backhand, he'll start stepping around the backhand and play his forehand. So there'll be a very
4-6.
interesting tactical game going on. And that's a couple of points for WANG Hao. He's now given himself a lifeline in this second game, but still 2 points adrift. ZHANG Jike leading 6-4.
5-6.
Most well done from WANG Hao. Went this time, as you said, stepped around the backhand side, did not want to be caught in his own body again. Took 2 steps to the left, played the forehand topspin, spinning topspin it was as well. Not that much emphasis on the speed.
7-5.
The serve just drifted a little longer. It allowed ZHANG Jike to get a bit more speed and spin on the backhand topspin. He placed it well into the body of WANG Hao.
Keeping in the lead, ZHANG Jike. Once again, under pressure. That is where he blossoms. Seen this in the quarterfinals match against Patrick Baumer. He was down 5-10. Did manage to turn that game around and win all the other games afterward.
Backhand to backhand. ZHANG Jike again coming out on top. The reverse backhand not quite firing on all cylinders. There you can see how he uses the backhand side of his grip, of his racket, even though he's a pen grip player. It's the reverse backhand topspin we were talking about before. But ZHANG Jike now, second serve coming up.
6-8.
Good backspin on that return, came under the ball, used the wrist. That ball was fizzing with backspin. Let's have a look at that again. Here he comes, in he comes. Underneath the ball. Oh, wonderful play. WANG Hao always on the back foot there. It was ZHANG Jike who was playing the stronger top spins. Wang Hao at full stretch there. And there he almost has to lean sideways to make that top spin. 9-6, ZHANG Jike.
And this is what it looks like when WANG Hao is quick on his feet. Good combination, setting this up with a long push and then stepped around to play the forehand topspin that he's so well known for. From his backhand corner this time, 9-7 though. Still ZHANG Jike up 2 points. That was a good serve, I think.
Great serve. Took the words right out of my mouth there. Took Wang Hao by surprise. I think Wang Hao even jumps in the air as he makes this return, but he got away with it. 9-8.
But he cannot afford to keep missing these shots. They're so important now. No small points remaining on the table. As a reminder, this is the finals of the World Championships. WANG Hao now faced with the possibility of being down 2-0 versus ZHANG Jike. Needs to win this game desperately. Game point used by ZHANG Jike. He wins the second game, 11-8, is now up 2 games, 2-0 over WANG Hao from China.
WANG Hao. Tout de suite, merci. Oui, oui, bien évidemment, le public, toujours là, toujours chaud bouillant, comme on a fait de bonne qui est bien parti tout à l'heure. Il manquait simplement un petit peu de bruit à l'intérieur, vraiment quand elle marche chez vous. Vous criez, vous tapez, vous faites la fête pour l'entendre bien tourner cette heure. Attention les amis. Elle est partie, elle est partie, elle est partie. Oula, elle a fait peur, mais on va retenir encore un petit peu. Alors, on cale un peu les amis, on fatigue. Que se passe-t-il? Je reprends la suite dans les bilans. C'est la dernière fois, merci beaucoup. Ils sont exceptionnels de ce côté-ci, bravo.
Umpire calls both players back to the table. And as this is a match China versus China, we see once again no coaching present. Both coaching seats are empty. Liu Guoliang commentating for Chinese television. And we saw just earlier Wu Jinping, the coach for the Chinese penhole players, in the ranks here, watching his player WANG Hao from afar. And he can't be all too happy with what he sees.
1-all.
This player is down 2 games against ZHANG Jike.
Error there from ZHANG Jike. Had a good chance to make that topspin down the line. Wang Hao will be relieved to be in the lead, albeit the early stages of the third game. He's not really started to fire on all cylinders yet. He lost the first game 11-7. He was way out in the second game, but a few errors from ZHANG Jike allowed him back into it. But he still went down 11-8. So maybe 3-1 lead gives him a little bit of confidence. To see his reverse backhand topspin and his forehand topspin flow, then we could still see this final completely turn round. At the moment, ZHANG Jike in the driving seat.
I mean, as important as this second game was, the third one obviously all the more important to WANG Hao. I don't know if he can come back from a 3-0, so this is everything in it for him here. Did manage to score the point here in this backhand against backhand rally. Usually something that you should avoid when playing against ZHANG Jike. Backhand topspin, maybe the best in the world at the moment. Very short, explosive movement here. Very good core strength of his body. High body tension, and so few mistakes he makes with that too.
3-4.
Didn't quite read the backspin, didn't lift sufficiently. That is just a fantastic forehand to forehand topspin, side spin, the ball staying so low over the net. Just look at that again, that ball is going like a rocket. And it's ZHANG Jike who levels the score at 4 points each.
And it's forehand versus forehand too. ZHANG Jike is playing this so cleverly. Plays the last one deliberately, a little less speed on the ball, so WANG Hao has to step back to the table. Not positioned correctly for the last topspin. Has worked out 3 times already in this match. Closes the gap now to only 1 point. WANG Hao, though, in the lead.
5-all.
Wonderful technique for the backhand topspin. ZHANG Jike drives up with the legs. Good use of the elbow, the wrist in particular. Halfway stage of the third game, 5 points each. And I do agree with you, Sebastian, if ZHANG Jike wins this, 3-0 would be a mountain to climb for WANG Hao. I think he needs to take this third game.
Once again, there are these few points in the match where WANG Hao really shows what he's capable of.
Very strong with that forehand topspin from the backhand side. That's what ZHANG Jike has been trying to avoid. He would prefer WANG Hao playing reverse backhands from the backhand side. Not stepping round to get in with his very powerful forehand topspin.
This game developing very much in the direction that WANG Hao wants it to. 8-5 now. You can already see how quiet both these players are. That is really unusual for both of them. Just a sign of the respect they have for each other and of the focus they have in this game.
ZHANG Jike now with the advantage of the serve. Pretty good time to win 2 points with the serve. Oh, wonderful placement. ZHANG Jike was just looking to step round his backhand. He thought WANG Hao would go into the backhand side. You can see the weight just shifting a little bit. See it better on this from this angle. There, you could just see ZHANG Jike looking to step round. Well anticipated by WANG Hao.
10-6.
Game points to the world champion from 2009. 10-6. 4 opportunities for him to close the gap. And that is what he does at the first attempt to do so. 11-6 the final score. 2-1, still up, ZHANG Jike.
And the third game goes to WANG Hao. ZHANG Jike leads 2-1. donc pour ZHANG Jike.
And we're back. Finals match of the World Championships 2013. ZHANG Jike versus WANG Hao. It's a rematch indeed of the last World Championships Finals 2011. This time, both the younger players, the number 1 and number 2 in the world, Xu Xian and Ma Long, did not qualify for this final. It is indeed the experienced WANG Hao, and maybe the best table tennis player in the world at the moment, ZHANG Jike, who do get out to find who's the new world champion. First point to WANG Hao.
ZHANG Jike looking for the open space there, out wide to WANG Hao's forehand. Leaves himself exposed, but didn't quite find the angle. Zhang, ball going off the side of the table. Heavy topspin from WANG Hao. ZHANG Jike not quite getting these rackets sufficiently over the top of the ball. Completely misread the spin. ZHANG Jike came underneath the ball, lifted. In fact, there might even be a little bit of topspin on that ball. Watch how it just pops up in the air, and that is a bread and butter for WANG Hao. It's a perfect start, 4 out of 4 for the 29-year-old.
1-4.
We've seen ZHANG Jike stumble quite a few times in this tournament, against Patrick Baum yesterday, for example. But he never fell.
4-2.
The serve to the middle, the second one wide to the backhand. There you see WANG Hao coming across to the middle of the table to return with the backhand. ZHANG Jike then responds by playing out wide to the WANG Hao backhand. Good tactics. Both players opting to towel down. They are, of course, entitled to do so. Every 6 points. And that was the finest of touches. WANG Hao apologising for his good fortune, but sportsmanship of ZHANG Jike was there for all to see. Immediately pointed to the table, gave the point to WANG Hao.
Two, 6.
6-2. Very much the reverse picture of what we've seen in the beginning of this match. This game all WANG Hao so far.
Two, 7.
Fourth game drifting away now from ZHANG Jike.
And then we could see that in action, what I've been talking about, the very fast acceleration, the ZHANG Jike backhand textbook technique too, to hit that so directly in front of his body. Keeping the elbow up, very short distance to travel for the racket until contact with the ball.
7-4.
2 consecutive points for ZHANG Jike, just keeping him interested in this 4th game.
Time up.
And indeed, timeout called by WANG Hao. And that's as a result of those 2 consecutive points for ZHANG Jike. WANG Hao now is hoping, obviously, with a 3-point lead, to push on to victory in this 4th game, level it at 2 games each. And then, of course, we're back to a situation where it's 50-50, it's anybody's final. But he has to nail this game. ZHANG Jike had just started to get a little bit of momentum. He won 2 consecutive points, so a good call by the former world champion against the current world champion. There we see the clock counting the 60 seconds down. Of course, both players have 1 opportunity to call timeout throughout the match. WANG Hao has now used his opportunity. And we're just about to find out whether it was a useful timeout from WANG Hao's point of view. Has he managed to break the momentum of ZHANG Jike? Well, we're just about to find out. Always good to win the first point psychologically after a timeout. And that honour goes to ZHANG Jike now. We've seen him come back on several occasions, the world champion. We've said all along he's good on the big stage, he's good under pressure. Can he do it again?
WANG Hao is now challenged tactically. How many tricks does he still have up his sleeve? And he's determined to. We see him reach for every shot now. It was a good effort for him, even bringing that back to the table, though that put him in a quite bad position. He's not giving up. Nor should he. At 7-6.
6-7.
Next point coming up is a big point for both these players. Does WANG Hao retain a quite comfortable lead with 2 points, or does indeed ZHANG Jike catch up to him?
That's what you call throwing caution to the wind. WANG Hao, determined to stay close to the table, launched himself into this topspin. Just look at that, the ball was still rising. He came around the inside of the ball to give it side spin. That really was a super shot.
And another one to boot. 9-6. This game has so much opened up now. For a second there, I thought was going to be quite a one-sided affair, but absolutely not the case at the moment. WANG Hao about to equalize to 2 games each.
7-9.
And it is once again backhand versus backhand. This is just the strong side of ZHANG Jike. Something that WANG Hao needs to avoid at all cost.
So ZHANG Jike now with his 2 serves. Suspect we'll see short serves. And then ZHANG Jike trying to get in. But that was a wonderful return. The serve was short, but the touch play from WANG Hao was excellent. Kept it tight, as you can see on the replay, and that is 3 game points for WANG Hao.
Once again, keeping it deliberately short. The block shot from ZHANG Jike, forcing WANG Hao back to the table. Has had problems with that so many times now. 2 game points remaining. Both players toweling down now at 18 points played.
WANG Hao will be delighted to have shared the points on the ZHANG Jike serve, because it now gives him the 2 game points and, of course, his 2 serves to come. Big advantage, the service.
And it is once again ZHANG Jike under pressure, keeps performing at his best. 1 more game point with his own serve. What will he do?
He's done it again. He's taken 2 points against the service. You can never write this man off. ZHANG Jike now with the serve. It's alternate serving. First player to win 2 clear points.
And it seems both players are playing the best table tennis. One they're playing from behind. Bold return from WANG Hao. Not only going for the spin, but also, as you've said, Don, throwing caution in the wind here. Once again, the high-risk shot as a serve return. Game point once again. The 29-year-old player from Jilin.
Perhaps trying a little bit too hard there. WANG Hao took it very early. Perhaps a fraction more control, a little less high-risk strategy would have been better, but it's easy to say that in hindsight. 11 points each. Beautiful backhand topspin by ZHANG Jike down the line, great control. He just held back a little bit. He didn't throw caution to the wind quite as much as we saw WANG Hao. And so, game point for ZHANG Jike.
Averted once more. This is such a tense moment in this match. If ZHANG Jike were to manage to win this game here, he'll be up 3-1. That makes you feel so much more confident, so much more comfortable. And WANG Hao desperately needs to even the score. 2 clear points needed for both players.
Oh, backhand to backhand. I'm not sure how fast that ball's going, but it's going like a rocket. I keep saying that, but wonderful table tennis.
Oh, we've seen a timeout from ZHANG Jike now. With his game point, he felt the need to confront WANG Hao with the situation even more.
It's amazing how the player's mind works. You've just won a great point like that, and yet still tactically astute to call the timeout. He knows this is a real pivotal moment in this final. As you said, Sebastian, if he goes 3-1, then it's going to be very, very tough for Wang Hao. He's had one match point already, and then he made an error on the return of serve, ZHANG Jike. So he'll just be composing himself. I'm sure he's quite happy that Wang Hao has to dwell on the fact that he's 1 point away from 3-1 down as well. So, wonderful timeout call, especially when you consider the pressures that are on out there. And he called it immediately.
He was planning for that, I believe. Game point to the world champion. Game point, ZHANG Jike. And this time he takes it. It's the first time we see him come out of his shell here, showing an emotional response to what is happening at the table. And what is happening is that he's up 3 games to 1 by winning the 4th game 14-12.
Now he leads 3-1.
Pour cette finale simple messieurs, et on revient pour la reprise du jeu. 5e
La vol.
We're in the 5th game. Wang Hao has his work cut out for him. ZHANG Jike, the champion, he is only 1 game away from repeating that success in 2013 in Bercy. Fans show appreciation for this beautiful tournament here, the World Championships in Paris. Seen 7 wonderful days of table tennis, 800 players from 116 nations competing, the biggest event ever hosted in table tennis.
ZHANG Jike just apologises for his good fortune. That backhand topspin just caught the top of the net. We'll see it again. There it goes. When the ball's going so fast and it deviates even a little, it's sufficient to win the point.
3-2.
Once again, a good start from Wang Hao.
ZHANG Jike with 2 serves. And an excellent start by the 29-year-old Wang Hao.
You must not forget this is the way 4th game started also. I believe the score was 6-2 for Wang Hao. And ZHANG Jike inched his way closer and closer and tied the score. So back and forth at 10-all. Lucky Wang Hao. Ball caught the edge of the net, I believe, twice during this rally.
There we see him just showing his hand. That basically is the apology. But he's now raced to a 7-3 lead.
This time, a backhand versus backhand sees Wang Hao on the upper side after the rally. 8-3. This has been a recipe for success in ZHANG Jike's game all match long. These rallies in backhand versus backhand see him controlling the pace of the ball here very well, waiting a bit longer, throwing the timing of Wang Hao off. Neither player willing to switch the sides here, play the parallel topspin into the forehand side.
Could we have another comeback? 3 points adrift to ZHANG Jike. But if he wins this point, he will then have his 2 serves to come. Oh, it's a super forehand topspin. Leaned in, took it early, whipped it down the line. Wang Hao now leading 9-5. Whilst I wouldn't say the 5th game's in the bag, it's looking good for Wang Hao.
To 5, and now I don't think Wang Hao should be afraid of opening up the rally at all here. Has made the point 3 times now by playing into ZHANG Jike's backhand, avoiding this backhand to backhand rally. Game points galore for the 29-year-old Wang Hao. Takes the first one even. ZHANG Jike looking a bit disgruntled there, just smashing that into the net. 11-5. 2 games to 3 from the perspective of the world champion 2009, Wang Hao.
This 5th game goes to Wang Hao. Comes back, and ZHANG Jike still in the lead. And now with 3-2.
Back at the center court, Palais Omnisport de Paris-Bercy. World Championships finals match. 3-2 up. ZHANG Jike over Wang Hao.
Interesting start. ZHANG Jike around the backhand to play the forehand. He's obviously going to try and impose himself on this 6th game.
One love.
Good start by ZHANG Jike. Both players, of course, have used their timeouts now. And so the rest of this final will be uninterrupted. WANG Hao with his 2 serves to come.
Two to one. WANG Hao did manage to get out of this backhand versus backhand here as ZHANG Jike switches the side.
Slightly fortunate with the net cord. He'd actually flicked the ball right onto the baseline, but you would have backed ZHANG Jike to make this topspin. Let's just look at that again. There it comes, down it comes. Tried to go straight down the line. It's a shorter target. It is a little bit more difficult. 2 points each, all 4 points going with service so far.
This time, fortune on the side of ZHANG Jike. They know each other so well. I mean, it's obvious for both these players what they need to do here. They know that, no doubt, have made up their mind about this game beforehand. It is always the topspin into WANG Hao's backhand all the time for ZHANG Jike to set up the point or to score the point indeed. Ping pong without borders. Four to two for ZHANG Jike.
2-4.
Serve was slightly long, but it was still fairly tight. The second bounce very close to the sideline and the baseline. Sufficient to cause ZHANG Jike to hesitate.
Now 4-all. See the fans of the champion here in Paris. Wonderful atmosphere throughout this whole tournament in Bercy. Seen a almost full venue on every day of the competition.
Oh, that's the reverse backhand topspin. Played quite superbly by WANG Hao. It's the first point that's gone against the service.
Important for him on a mental level as well to score that with his backhand. As if to set a sign to ZHANG Jike. I can do this as well.
5-all.
So halfway stage of this 6th game, 5 points each. Again, that service just to the same areas, just to the corner of the table. Is it short, is it long? ZHANG Jike's not too sure. Just watch again there, just can't quite get in that backhand topspin. And there's a look of frustration there.
And no matter the outcome of this game, we really have to commend WANG Hao on his tactics here. He's played this so calmly. He's so focused, and he's always, you can see the wheels in motion. He's always thinking about what to do next, how to switch the tactics here, to switch the placement, to throw ZHANG Jike off.
7-5, WANG Hao in the lead. WANG Hao's taken 6 out of 6 with his service in this game, and he's managed to take 1 out of 6 from the ZHANG Jike serve, which gives him the 2-point lead that he has. So both players serving well. And ZHANG Jike get back to 2 points with the serve. Did it touch? I think it did. I think that just was the finest of edges for ZHANG Jike. Indeed it was. WANG Hao very sportingly points to the table. You couldn't see that. You couldn't possibly see that. Such was the speed of the ball. Have a look again. Was there a slight deviation? Possibly, but for sure it touched. WANG Hao, being the sportsman that he is, immediately lets the umpire know it touched. 6-7. Heavy backspin on the serve, coming underneath it.
It's such a great serve to come once again back to that edge court there. Most of the times the players don't even see it. You more or less just hear it. You hear the ball making a different sound than it would have when it touched the table on the front side. 7 points each. And this is just the opportunity that you cannot give to ZHANG Jike. WANG Hao wanted to avoid once again this backhand to backhand rally and went for the spinny topspin. ZHANG Jike was there and he closed the racket accordingly. Controlled that spin very well.
First point that WANG Hao's lost with service. And it's a pretty crucial time. ZHANG Jike, if he can take this point, he'll have 2 serves for the title. And he's done it. The backhand topspin deep into the backhand of WANG Hao 2 years ago when he won this title. He ripped his shirt off 1 year ago when he won the Olympic title. He sprinted over to the podium. We all wondered what on earth he was going to do. He kissed the gold medal rostrum. What's he going to do this time if he can win the next 2 points? Everybody will be waiting to see.
Though, mind you, this is not over yet.
Could be
but
now.
It could be now, absolutely. 10-7. 3 championships point for the champion. For ZHANG Jike to repeat a success from 2011 to stay world champion of table tennis. Can he do it?
He's done it. And look at the celebrations. Not a lot happening yet, Sebastian.
I'm waiting for that too. ZHANG Jike staying very calm for the moment. 4-2 was the end result we saw here. Last game 11-7 after WANG Hao was up 6-2, and now we see him again jumping over the surrounds. What will he do?
I think he's looking for his coach. He's certainly not ripped off his shirt yet. And there he is. Who's he with? Family, maybe.
I believe that indeed is his father and his mother here in the picture. ZHANG Jike has done it again. He is, and he's shown it, the best table tennis player in the world at the moment, performing at 100-120% capacity. Wasn't a spectacular game, but it was very difficult for ZHANG Jike to find the right tactics against a calm and competitive WANG Hao. He's done a fine job here, the man in the red. Once again, runner-up of the World Championships. And this man in the spotlight in a black shirt, he is the World Champion 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, and we see now him ripping his shirt off. Beautiful picture. Trademark of these celebrations. Congratulations to the World Champion. Congratulations to ZHANG Jike.
Au championnat du monde, comme le dirait Didier Leroy, le manager de ce tournoi, c'est l'homme des grands événements, des grands rendez-vous mondiaux. On salue une nouvelle fois avant de laisser Marc l'interviewer, le champion du monde 2013, le Chinois ZHANG Jike.
Petit mot avec lui, ZHANG Jike, congratulations, félicitations. Tu as tout gagné depuis 2011, on va lui demander ça. Qu'est-ce que représente ce titre maintenant, puisqu'il est invaincu depuis 2011?
ZHANG Jike，恭喜你，今天获得了2013年世界乒乓球锦标赛男子单打的冠军。从2011